Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be looking at the A1S Flashlight from WowTac. And I know the packaging does say A-Tactical, and that's primarily because I've actually been testing out this flashlight for quite some time now. So when I received it, they were still called A-Tactical, and this was their packaging. Since then, the company has actually been renamed, and it is now WowTac. So if you do order this flashlight, it will be under the WowTac name brand and packaging as well. Now, I previously reviewed the A1 model, and I really like that model as far as EDC flashlight. So when they came out with the A1S, I reached out to them and asked if I could check that one out as well, and they went ahead and sent it over so I can do that. That way I can see what the differences between the two are. So let's go ahead and open up the box and see what is inside. So right at the top, you do get your user manual, and as always, I do recommend that you read through it. It's going to give you some really useful information, primarily the different mode outputs, and then also your run times. So they make it real easy and put it right there on the front. You also have a little bag here with a couple of spare O-rings. Now, this light does come with a rechargeable 18650 battery, so they also do include the USB charger, which is really nice. I know certain manufacturers tend to leave these kind of things out, and it's always good when other manufacturers do include it, like WowTac here. That way you can keep your battery up and running, especially if you use your flashlight on a regular basis. And then you have the light itself. I'll set this to the side here. And here it is. Now, you've probably heard me mention this before in other flashlight reviews, but this is what I would consider a larger size EDC flashlight. And at first, I was a little apprehensive to start carrying this size light. I normally prefer to carry a small and as powerful a flashlight as I can. But ever since I started reviewing these larger size flashlights and carrying them on a daily basis, I've grown to love them, particularly because of the higher output and longer run times, specifically on 18650 batteries. So these size and style flashlights are now my go-to as far as my EDC flashlights go. Now, this particular flashlight has the button configuration that I do enjoy as well, which is you have a rear tail cap switch, which turns the light on and off, and then you have a side mode selector switch, which allows you to select through the different modes. Now, I prefer that type of setup in my EDC flashlight, primarily because I tend to just kind of use the highest output that the flashlight will have. So I like to turn the light on and off and have that come on in that output. But also if I do want to maybe go into a strobe mode or go into like a lower setting or something like that, I like to have that be independent. That way I don't have to cycle through it using the tail cap switch. So let's go ahead and kind of look at the flashlight from the front to the back. The flashlight itself is made out of aircraft grade aluminum, which is going to make it nice and light, but it's also going to be very sturdy, especially if you're going to be using it as an EDC flashlight. You know, it will hold up to a lot of usage. So on the very front right here, you do have a granulated bezel, which I believe besides the maximum output, that is the main difference between the A1 and the A1S. So depending on what you're going to need from your EDC flashlight, those are kind of like the main differences between the two. So again, you have your granulated bezel there, aircraft grade aluminum body, you have your side selector mode switch there. You also have some knurling on the middle portion right here of the flashlight, and then on the back here. It is very functional, especially if your hands are wet or something like that. The knurling is going to allow you to get some good grip. But very much in the back here, when you have it clipped onto your pocket, you can go ahead and hold on to the tail cap section there and pull it out, and it makes it a lot easier to grip because of that knurling there. Also, your pocket clip is very nice. It is removable if you want to go ahead and take it off, but it has some nice retention, especially when you have it clipped onto your pocket, and it rides low enough to where it's not going to snag up on different things, but it also gives you enough clearance so you can grab it and pull it out and start using it. Again, you have your rubberized tail cap switch in the back there, which is going to turn the flashlight on and off. And then on either side, you have these little wings that allow you to attach a lanyard or something like that to there if you wanted to go ahead and do that. So this particular flashlight does come with quite a few different modes, which makes it a lot more versatile as far as an EDC flashlight go. It goes anywhere from 24 lumens in the low mode, and then it maxes out to the turbo at 1150 lumens. So again, you're getting a great flashlight, great construction, feels really nice in the hand, and it is a rechargeable 18650 battery. Now, as you guys can see, there isn't any type of USB ports or anything like that on the light itself, and that is because, and as you guys probably saw in the previous A1 video, the USB port is actually located right on the battery. So that was one of the really cool features that I found that WowTac is doing there, where they're actually kind of eliminating that port from the body of the flashlight itself, and they transitioned it into the body of the battery here. So basically, as you guys can see, you do have your little USB port right there. So with your supplied USB cable, all you have to do is connect the cable onto the battery right there, and there is a little LED that'll let you know if it's charging or whatnot. And then you plug this into either a computer, external battery bank, or if you have like a power brick or something like that, you can plug that in, charge up the battery, and you're good to go. Now, what I always do recommend with these style of battery charging options is if you want to go ahead and pick yourself up another battery, that way you can be charging this one and throw in your fresh battery into your flashlight. That way you're not left without a flashlight. So obviously this is a plus in the sense that you're not going to leave your flashlight out of commission if you have an extra battery while your other battery is charging, as opposed to if the flashlight did have the USB port right on the body. If you're connected and charging the light, you can't use it while it's charging. So I think this is a good idea. It obviously gives you a little bit more usage out of your light while it is being charged. So let's go ahead and replace the battery in there. And seal it up, and you're good to go. So what I'll do now is I'll take you guys outside and show you some beam shots so you can see the different outputs, and I'll talk about the run times as well. All right, guys, so we're outside now, and I went ahead and set up the camera facing down the street that I live in. There's a couple points of reference that you'll be able to see with the different modes that the A1S from WowTac can offer you. One of the first things that I wanted to point out is that the flashlight does have a mode where if you wait longer than 2 seconds to cycle through the modes, it actually defaults back down to low. So just keep that in mind as you're cycling through the different modes. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'll turn the flashlight on, and this is your low mode here. And low is going to be 24 lumens, which is going to be good for 6 days. Now this is just enough light to be able to preserve night vision. So if you want to read like inside of a tent, or maybe you want to look for some keys that you might have dropped underneath the car, or even if you want to go ahead and preserve the majority of the battery on here. So again, it's going to be good for 6 days. You can go ahead and use those 24 lumens. Now pressing that side switch is going to ramp you up to medium, and medium is going to be good for 140 lumens in 18 hours. So again, this is a little bit more EDC light, perfect for the majority of EDC tasks that you're going to be using. There's a tree right there to the right that I'm lighting up. It's doing a good job at doing that, and that's about 25 feet away from us. So again, really good light. Then you're going to go low, medium, high. High is going to be good for 460 lumens for 5 hours. Again, now there's a car over there to the left. This white car here is about 50 feet away from us, and it's doing a really good job at lighting that up so you can see a lot more. And then from there, you're going to go low, medium, high, and then turbo. So this is the max output of the flashlight, which is 1150 lumens, and that's going to be good for 3 hours. As you guys can see, it's doing a good job at lighting everything that's coming down the road here, so you're going to be able to see things as they're coming your way. So perfect for an EDC flashlight. From there, you actually has an SOS mode as well, so cycling through all the modes. So you're going to go low, medium, high, turbo, and then it'll go into your SOS. And again, SOS is going to be at 1150 lumens as well. And then back down to your low, and if you leave the side button pressed, it'll actually go into your strobe, and strobe is going to be 1150 lumens for 4 hours. And then once you press that mode switch again, it'll actually default back to whatever the previous mode that you were using it on. So we were on low, so we went back down to low. So again, I'll ramp it up to the turbo, which is what I normally use it on. Now you do have a memory on this flashlight, so if you turn it off, when you turn it back on, it's going to come back on in whatever the last setting that you left it at. So the last mode that I was in turbo, so it's going to come back on in turbo. And that's why I said that I prefer the flashlights that have the 2 selector switches, so the side one and then the back switch to turn it on and off. because I primarily just use the highest setting on the majority of my EDC flashlights. So on this one, I would pretty much run it all the time on the turbo, and it's good that it's able to come back right back on those 1150 lumens. So there it is. That is the A1S flashlight from WowTac. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.